What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Blue Side FC channel. I'm Nia Matt, and I hope you're all doing great. Yeah, like as you guys know, today we had the Champions League draw, and yeah, we've been matched up again um, against Real Madrid for the third season running. I think that the first time we met them, we beat them. Second time they beat us. Some people might say this is the tiebreaker. It's a very difficult tie. It's a very difficult clash. And this video, I'm just going to talk about the our draw, our chances, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Everton game as well. But first, before we get into that, I just want to introduce our guest, the first ever guest on this channel, and he's in the person of Rahul from the Premier Chels podcast, a very good podcast. I've been listening to that podcast, and I'll put the links in the description below so that you go and listen to it too as well. Yeah, Rahul, welcome to the channel. First guest on the channel. Welcome.
It's quite an honor, Nee. I know we've been talking offline and actually been friends for a little bit online, and we actually never met in person. But it's very nice to be the first guest. Thank you.
Soon we'll meet. Soon we'll meet because you've been coming to Ghana sometimes, and probably maybe in the future also meet at Stamford Bridge. Who knows?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and hopefully we win. Hopefully we win whenever we go this time. Because that's my worry. My worry has always been like maybe the first time I go to Stamford Bridge, then we lose the games.
That would be the best case. You have to pick you have to pick a game that you know for sure, because that's what I did. My first game at the Bridge was a Champions League game. And it
Okay.
was the weakest team in the group stage. So I was like, that's the one I'm going to go for. And we ended up winning like 6-0 or something, which was nice.
So let's get straight into the draw. What do you think about the draw? What are your thoughts about the draw today? And I know a lot of people have different opinions. Some people are very confident. Some people are not confident. What do you think about the draw in general?
It's not ideal. I think we would have preferred some of the other teams. Uh, but you look at it and you say, like I think you said in your introduction, it's the third edition of this Real Madrid Chelsea saga, if you that's what you want to call it. And I mean, the other two teams that I absolutely didn't want to face are three teams were Madrid, I beg your pardon, Bayern, Man City, and Napoli. So uh, I know Madrid are going to be difficult, but not as bad as it could have been given if we had Man City, Bayern. Madrid aren't really in form. I know it's a different animal in the Champions League, and we experienced it firsthand last season. But I think with the second leg being at the Bridge and us having learned from last year and what can happen when you give Madrid the chances, I think we'll be up for it, and I think we'll want some revenge of our own.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But the thing is, I know a lot of people wanted the easier teams. I'm not going to say the teams are easy, but there are definitely some teams to um um um. There are teams a lot of people want to avoid, like you mentioned, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, Man City. But for some reason, I just had this feeling that we're going to face either Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. So when I saw us meeting Real Madrid, I wasn't really surprised. I was happy that we didn't meet Bayern Munich because I feel like Bayern Munich is going to be a very, very tough battle between the both of us because they've been good. Sorry, they've been good in the season and they've also been good in the Champions League so far. They beat PSG with Messi on form, Neymar, Mbappe. I don't think Neymar featured, but I think Mbappe and Messi on form, and they beat them. But with Real Madrid, I don't know. There's this kind of mental psyche that we play on them sometimes. Like they underestimate us, and then we show up. Like the first time we met them, we went on to win the Champions League. They underestimated us because they thought we were having a chaotic season, so they would have been able to trample all over us, and we surprised them because both legs, in my opinion, were the better team in both legs. Even last season, I think both legs we had very, very good chances where I thought we could have put the game to bed early, but Chelsea being Chelsea, we missed our chances, and yeah. And we have a third time to prove ourselves, and I'm hoping that we prove ourselves in this one. And it's very, very difficult. It's going to be a difficult matchup, but I'm hoping we go through. It's hoping we go through.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be difficult. We're going to have to be focused and tuned in for the full 180 minutes, or if there's more. But you look at it and you say, I mean, we went to the Bernabeu last season, and for 70, 75 minutes,
Yeah,
they were not even like uh, a team that should have been in that competition at
Yeah.
all. But that's I think we need to be ready for when they switch it on, and that's when the Modric pass or Benzema out of nowhere gets a goal. I think we need to be ready for that and just be smart about it, not try to overplay it. But again, in the moment, you never know. I know it's a big occasion. It's easy for you and me to sit here and talk about it, but
Oh,
but
wow.
as players, when you're on the pitch, you try to do the best and see what happens. And I think when I look at it from the Madrid side, of course, I'm sure they wouldn't have wanted to face Bayern Munich, Man City, similar to us, Napoli. But the other team I think that they wouldn't have wanted to face is Chelsea because we've given them a tough fight. Even last season when we end up going out, I think their players came out and said it and said this was a game that we feel like we had to really dig in and fight for. So I think they'll be looking at it like it's not going to be an easy. I don't think they'll underestimate us, but given that we suffered the heartbreak last season, I think we have a little bit of extra motivation.
Yeah.
But you never know. It's something with Chelsea you just can't predict.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I think one plus side to is that N'Golo Kante is back, and N'Golo Kante in this kind of games turns up for us. So hopefully by the time the game comes, he's fully integrated back into the team. He hasn't played under Potter so far, so it's going to be interesting to see how he's integrated in the team with, especially with um Kovacic and Enzo clicking very well in the last three games. It's going to be very interesting how he's going to fit into that midfield. But he's N'Golo Kante. One of them has to sit on the bench. If he's going to go with the two midfield pivots, one of them has to sit on the bench, and it's most likely Kovacic. But I'm sure they are going to be rotated, and we need N'Golo Kante for that game at least. Because the thing is that with N'Golo Kante, even if he's not fully fit, if he's on the pitch, he adds a lot more to your team because already the players are scared of him. The players are threatened by him. So when he's there, they would it would affect their game a bit. But yeah, like I said, it's not going to be easy at all. It's not going to be easy. But like you said too, we have this kind of um um um, hold over Real Madrid because I like you said, they also didn't want to face us. Maybe they also didn't want. I saw some of their fans on Twitter. Some of them didn't want to face us. We beat them the first time. They came back to revenge. Now it's our turn to revenge. So, like you said, we have extra motivation to play against them too as well. And yeah, I'm just hoping we I'm just hoping we get it. And so, what do you think about Potter? Like, this is going to be Potter's first big test. Like, it's going to be one of his major tests for Chelsea.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. I was going to say it's going to be the biggest test, not just for him, but for us as a club. I mean, this season has been bad from what we expect from Chelsea, especially in the league. I know in the Champions League, somehow we managed to get these moments in games where we get a boost and get the job done. But overall, I think if we don't end up going on to win this or get close to the trophy, it's going to be a season where we're going to look back and say, let's just forget about it. Let's just put it in the past. So a lot is riding not just on the Real Madrid games, but overall what we do in the Champions League. And I think if we don't make it through from this leg, or even if we don't make it or win it ultimately, I don't think we're coming back to the Champions League at least for another season. So it's a big test. I think he has to be ready for it. He has never been in the Champions League, let alone being at this stage where so much is riding on it. So he's learning on the job. I think we can give him that he's done well. He's beaten Milan away twice. He beat Dortmund when it mattered. Um, but Real Madrid, and then when you go ahead, if it's Man City or Bayern, or if you then make it further ahead, it's going to be Inter, Napoli, Benfica, AC Milan. Um, it's not going to be easy. It's something that we just have to be ready for. But I think a lot is riding on it. I think we'll start seeing rotation to support and have the best players ready for these Madrid games, or even later on in the semifinal and the final, because our Premier League season is pretty much a write off or done at this
Yeah,
point. We
that's
can make it into the European stages, but I think if we have the chance of getting back into the Champions League, we have to put everything in that and see how far it takes us.
yeah, yeah. I completely agree. Like the we the season is done. We are not in any local competitions. FA Cup, we are out of FA Cup. The Carabao Cup, we are out of the Carabao Cup too as well. So it seems like everything's riding on the Champions League. We win it to qualify for the next Champions League too as well. So yeah, it's definitely um uh, a weird one, and it's like it's I really hate it when it's like we put all our eggs in one basket, in the Champions League basket, but it's our own fault. It's definitely our own fault. This season has been very very difficult. It has been very very one of the worst seasons we've had supporting Chelsea, and yeah, like I hope we go far, and I think it's also confirmed that when we qualify or when we beat Real Madrid and we qualify the next day, we are meeting the winner of the Man City versus Bayern Munich game. So it's not going to be easy. We have a very, very tough Champions League ahead of us, because when we qualify this, we are going to meet Bayern Munich or Man City. So it's going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, it's the worst way to make it to the final, but if it was easy, it wouldn't be something that Chelsea would do, right? So,
Yeah,
but the flip side is if we do make it to the final, one of the other teams we'll be facing is the ones that we wanted to face right now. So, um, not trying to disrespect them, but maybe it gets easier once we get through the hard part. But again, it's the Champions League final. Nothing's ever easy. But we'll just have to get through the first game against Madrid, get through the second leg, then we focus on the semi-final, and if we make the final, we
yeah,
make the final.
yeah, exactly. Make the final, and we have a history of making the final in chaotic seasons. So the the more chaotic our season, the better our chances of winning the Champions League. So we are looking forward to that. So yeah, I want to just worry you a bit and ask what do you think our chances are, like, can we win the first leg against Real Madrid? I don't want to talk about the second leg yet, but the first leg is happening at the Bernabeu and the second leg is happening at Stamford Bridge, which is good for us because we can go there and at least try not to get, if we can't score even at the Bernabeu, we can try not to get to concede, and then we come back to Stamford Bridge and then we try and win the game too as well. So what do you think our chances will be? Can we win the first leg?
I mean it's we've beaten them at the Bernabeu before. I think we're the only English team in recent history to have done that. So
Yeah,
yes, we can beat them in the first leg, but I think we'll go into it trying to manage it in the sense that let's not get blown away or let's not give them too many chances. And if we get our chances, we have to take them. It's not. I don't think it's going to be as open or as attacking as we were last season in this game at the Bernabeu because it's not all riding on this game just yet. We have to see what happens, how it unfolds, and then we bring them back to the bridge, and that's when we saw it against Dortmund when we need a result. Our fans are fully behind us. The players are up for it. Graham Potter was up for it, and I think at that
yeah,
point, if that's what it comes down to, then I rather it be at the bridge than us to go away to Madrid and do that. But in the first leg, I think we manage it. If we get a draw, if we get a narrow defeat, I'm okay with it because I think we can get the job done at the bridge. But what do you think? Do you think the strategy would be to kind of kill it in the first leg by scoring a bunch of goals, or similar to what I'm thinking is keep it tight, keep it close, and then bring them back to the bridge, and that's where we go for it.
yeah. I mean, I'm of the same thought, because I feel like if we go to the Bernabeu and we decide to attack, it will open up our defenses a bit, and then Real Madrid have a lot of attacking power. If they decide to punish us, they can punish us. Like what they did against Liverpool. Liverpool in the first leg, I feel like Liverpool in the first leg was the better team. But I think when Liverpool decided to be a little bit greedy with their goals, they lacked, their defense opened up, and then Real Madrid just loaded them with the 5 goals. So it's I think when you go to the Bernabeu, we have to be very very careful about conceding goals. We have to be very very defensively solid and not really. Yes, if we score a goal at the Bernabeu, it's going to be great, but we shouldn't really open up. We shouldn't really go out attacking. We shouldn't be thinking that we are going to go to Bernabeu and going to kill the game there. that would make the game at Stamford Bridge very, very, very difficult. And we are not that kind of team. We are not that kind of team where we are going to go to the Bernabeu and score them 3 goals, 5 goals. We are not that kind of team. A 1-0 at the Bernabeu would be great. And then we come back to Stamford Bridge. We come at Stamford Bridge and then do what we do best at Stamford Bridge on the Champions League night. So yeah, that's what I think that that's the approach that I feel like when we go with, we would be able to succeed. So moving on from the Champions League draw, I just wanted to talk about the main. The Champions League is not going to be in about, I think, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and so let's focus on the game at hand, which is the Everton game. We are playing Everton tomorrow, and yeah, we've had a good run of games so far. We've had 3 wins in a row, and yeah, do you think we're going to make it 4 wins in a row?
Yeah, I think that should be the goal, right? Because we've come off a very good week where we won 3 games in a row. We're now going into this Everton game, like you pointed out, and it's a chance for us to finish off this run of fixtures and go into the international break on a high. And that's an important thing because we've come to a point where we went to the World Cup break on a low. We came back and we really struggled to get it together and pick it back up from where we had been or where we wanted to be. So I think we need to focus on getting a win here, getting a couple of goals if possible, keep that momentum going because when we come back we have that's the business end of the season. I think we have Liverpool, we have Madrid twice, we have Brighton, we have Man City. We'll have a semi-final if we make it through. So um, I think this is a crucial point for us to kind of continue this form and say, you know what, we've done a good job up to now in this month, but we need to finish it off and go away when the players go on their international duty, feeling good that when they come back to Chelsea and come back after 2 weeks, they're excited and they're not coming back and feeling a little bit, dull or dragged down that, well, now we have to go back to Chelsea and fight for Europa League or Europa Conference League. There's that momentum and feeling that let's go, let's fight for the Champions League, let's fight in the league and see how far we get. So I think it's a crucial point, but it's not going to be easy. I think Everton are going to come and sit tight, sit deep, and as you know, that's when we really struggle against other teams is when they're sitting tight and making it difficult for us to break them down. So I'm interested to see how Potter handles it. I'm interested to see how the squad handle it because it was Leeds did the same thing. They sat tight and we got the goal eventually. Dortmund was a different game because it was open. They wanted to score, we wanted to score, and then Leicester can't really defend, so that helped us out. So this is going to be a test for our attacking
Yeah.
and what we've done so far in this month is build a little bit of momentum. So um, how do you feel about it? Do you think we'll come out and just get the job done, or in Chelsea fashion make it difficult?
I mean, with Chelsea, when you expect them to win, that is when they lose. When you expect them to lose, that is when they win. So, um, probably the 3 wins in a row, it's going to get a lot of Chelsea fans very, very confident. And for me, I'm just going to go into the team just expecting anything because, like you said, when we play against teams that are struggling, that is when we falter. That is when we fall short. So I'm just looking forward to taking the game as it is. Like you said, I don't want us to make any mistakes at the back. We should be defensively solid because they're also going to come in and be very be defensively solid and attack on the counter. One thing too that I've loved over the 3 games is that we've been able to keep our momentum up from the minute one to the end. And I'm hoping that it continues like that. I'm hoping that it continues because that was the problem that we had in before we started winning games in recently. We started the game very, very well, 15 minutes in, and then our intensity died off, and then the opposition started playing their football. They started dominating the game, and our second halves too were very, very poor. And but this time it seems like things have changed. It seems like there's some new resurgence in the team, and I'm looking forward that it's continues into the game against Everton as well. Everton have not had a very good season. They've sacked Lampard recently, which hurt me a lot as a big Lampard fan. I was really hoping that he does well at Everton. And Sean Dyke is trying to get them out of that relegation zone that they almost went in. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. They are trying to mend their season. They are trying to come out of a bad slump. So if they win against us, it's a very good booster for their season. It's a very good booster for their fans' confidence too as well. So they have a lot riding on this game, and we also have a lot riding on this game too as well. So I'm hoping we win. I'm hoping we win. So do you have any predictions for the game tomorrow?
Do you know what? I think we can score a couple of goals. We have to take our chances. So on our latest episode, I said 2-1, but I think maybe I was being a little too kind to Everton because they only ever score one goal. So I think we can maybe make
One
it
goal.
3-0 or 3-1 at the worst case.
I'm going to go with a 2-0 win. I'm going to hope that we keep a clean sheet, and then we win 2-0, and then probably hopefully come out of that 10th position that it seems like we've cemented ourselves in.
Yeah, that would be the goal. I think if we can win this weekend, we make it to 40 points and maybe jump over a couple of teams ahead of us. So let's keep our fingers crossed. I think the boys should be up for it. I think Graham Potter should get them up for it, and it's one of those where if it goes well, great. If it doesn't go well, suddenly the questions come back up, and you go away for 2 weeks with these questions, which is not ideal. So seriously hope that we get the win.
Yeah, hopefully we win. Hopefully we win. So yeah, that's. Thank you so much for joining me today. That's it for the video,
Thank you
and
for having me.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you contacted me to join us on this channel, and it was definitely a surprise, and it was definitely an honor for you to be on this channel too as well. And yeah, thank you so much for joining.
Keep up the good work, and we can connect very soon.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm going to put links to your podcast in the description below. So follow them, the Premier Chels, a very, very good podcast. I've been listening to them every week. And yeah, I think the last two episodes they had Kamal on. It was a very nice episode. I
Yeah,
really enjoyed that episode too as well.
thank you.
And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And if you have any comments about our draw, our chances, can we qualify? Let me know in the description, in the comment section down below. If you have any comments about any predictions about our game tomorrow against Everton, let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, stay safe.